Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, boys and girls. I'm here at the TADPole10 playground, and we're here doing storytelling. Highland Street Foundation likes to support storytelling and likes to give books away for kids. And in these interesting times that we're living in now, the best that we can do is come over here and make it so you can watch this. So I'm here in Boston, and my friend is watching behind on the camera and even just telling stories here. A couple kids have come around. It's just cool. The stories draw kids. It's nice. Here's a story for you called The Little Rooster and the Turkish Sultan. Once upon a time, in the land of Turkey, there was this very old woman, and she didn't have any money, but she had a little pet rooster, and she would tell him, "Go ahead, go peck for your lunch." And the rooster would walk along the street and peck, 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 peck. And one day, he pecked up a diamond button. I never had a diamond button before. I bet my mistress never did either. I'm going to take this back and give it to her. But as that little rooster was walking back, who should he meet but the big old Turkey Sultan? Now, the Turkey Sultan was sort of like being the president of Turkey, but not quite. I'll let your teachers explain all that to you later. And that Turkey Sultan, his pants were so baggy, he had 3 servants walk behind him and hold his pants up. When he saw that little rooster, he said, "Servants, I want that diamond button." And the servants ran over and grabbed the diamond button right out of that little rooster's mouth, and they put it in the Turkey Sultan's treasure chamber. But that little rooster wasn't happy. He flew up to the windowsill of that Turkey Sultan's palace, landed there and said, "Cock-a-doodle-doo! Cock-a-doodle-doo! Turkey Sultan, give me back my diamond button." And that Turkey Sultan, he was mad. "Servants, this little rooster is really starting to bother me. I think you ought to take this little rooster. That's it. Put him into a well. He will get so wet, he won't bother me anymore." But that Turkey Sultan didn't know that that little rooster had a magic stomach. And when that little rooster, the servants grabbed him and put him into the well, that little rooster said, "Come, my empty stomach. Come, my empty stomach. Drink up all the water." And that little rooster gobbled up all that water. And he thought, "I'm going to go back." And he flew out of that well, landed on that windowsill, and said, "Cock-a-doodle-doo! Turkey Sultan, give me back my diamond button." And that Turkey Sultan, he was mad. "Servants, this little rooster is really starting to bother me. I think you ought to take this little rooster. That's it. Put him into a fire. He will get all burned up and he won't bother me anymore." But that little rooster, the Turkey Sultan, didn't know that that rooster had a magic stomach. And when the servants put that little rooster into the fire, that little rooster said, "Come, my full stomach. Come, my full stomach. Spit out all the water." And that little rooster spit out all the water and put the fire out. And he didn't even get one feather burnt. And he flew out of that fire, landed on that palace, landed on that windowsill, and said, "Turkey Sultan, give me back my diamond button." And that Turkey Sultan, he was mad. "Servants, this little rooster is really starting to bother me. I think you ought to take this little rooster. I know what. Put him inside a beehive. He'll get all stung up and he won't bother me anymore." But that Turkey Sultan didn't know that that little rooster had a magic stomach. And when the servants grabbed that little rooster and put him into the beehive, that little rooster said, "Come, my empty stomach. Come, my empty stomach. Eat up all the bees." And because he had a magic stomach, he didn't even get stung once, but he flew out of that beehive, landed on that windowsill, and said, "Cock-a-doodle-doo! Turkey Sultan, give me back my diamond button." And that Turkey Sultan, he was mad. "Servants, I have tried every possible way to get rid of this little rooster. Why, I don't know what I should do. And the first servant said, Mr. Sultan, sir, why don't you get an axe and chop off his head? No, that'll get my carpet all dirty. And the second servant said, Mr. Sultan, sir, why don't you take a rope and hang it from the highest tree? No, that's not my style. And the third servant said, Mr. Sultan, sir, you're such a big man with such baggy pants. Why don't you take that little rooster and put him in the back of your baggy pants and sit on him and squash him? I like that idea. Give me that little rooster. And they grabbed that little rooster and put him in the back of the Turkey Sultan's baggy pants. But that Turkey Sultan didn't know that that little rooster had a magic stomach. And just before he was going to be squashed, that little rooster said, "Come, my full stomach, come, my full stomach, let out all the bees." I never want to see that little rooster again. Just tell him to take his diamond button and go on home. And the servants took that little rooster and put him into the treasure chamber, and he saw all the gold, and he saw his diamond button. And the Turkey Sultan didn't know that that little rooster had a magic stomach. And that little rooster said, "Come, my empty stomach, come, my empty stomach, eat up all the gold." Chakunk, 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 until he was so heavy he couldn't even fly anymore. And he bent down and picked up his diamond button, and he waddled on home and gave it all to his mistress, where they lived very richly and happily ever after. The end. Now, that story is out of a book called 20 Tellable Tales by Margaret Reed MacDonald. If there's anybody out there who wants to find stories for your kids, those stories are just terrific. So you can go out over there and have fun with them and listen and play. Now, this story for you is called Coyote's Song. My name is Tony Toledo, and I'm thrilled to be at Tadpole Park, to be here, and the Highland Street Foundation is recording this just so kids can have a quick story here in the middle of summer to enjoy. Coyote's Song. Once upon a time, Dove was this little bird, and she landed on this sharp rock, and Dove was there. Boo-hoo-hoo, 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 because she cut her foot. And Dove was there. Oh no, boo-hoo-hoo. And Coyote walked up. Coyote was like a little wolf, and Coyote looked over and said, "Dove, that's a beautiful song. Can you teach it to me?" And Dove said, "Coyote, I'm not singing, I am crying." "Dove, I know singing when I hear it. You teach me that song, Dove, or I'm going to eat you up." And Dove said, okay. Boo-hoo-hoo, 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 boo-hoo-hoo. And Coyote said, "Thank you, Dove. I have that song now." And Coyote went walking down the trail. A-boo, a-boo, a-boo-hoo-hoo, a-boo, a-boo, a-boo-hoo-hoo. And Coyote, he didn't see that log, and thunk, when he was walking along, he tripped right over it, and he fell down, and he said, "Oh no, I dropped that song." And he looked all over for it, and he couldn't find it. So he got up and dusted himself off, and he walked back over and said, "Dove, I dropped that song, Dove. I need you to teach it to me again." "Coyote, I already told you. I wasn't singing, I was crying." "Dove, I know singing when I hear it. You teach me that song, Dove, or I'm going to eat you up." Okay. Boo-hoo-hoo, 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 boo-hoo-hoo. "All right, thank you so much, Dove. I have that song now." And Coyote went walking down the path. A-boo, a-boo, a-boo-hoo-hoo, a-boo, a-boo, a-boo-hoo-hoo. And Coyote didn't see that big rock, and thunk, he tripped on the rock and fell. "Oh no, I dropped that song again." So he got up and dusted himself off, and he went back over and said, "Dove, I dropped that song again. I need you to teach it to me again." And Dove looked over. "Coyote, I already told you. I wasn't singing, I was crying." "Dove, I know singing when I hear it. You teach me that song, Dove, or I'm going to eat you up. Okay. Boo hoo hoo, boo hoo hoo, boo hoo hoo, boo hoo hoo. And Coyote said, thank you, Dove. I have that song now. And he went walking down the trail. A boo, a boo, a boo hoo hoo, a boo, a boo, a boo hoo hoo. And Coyote didn't see that big hole, and thunk, he fell right in it. But Dove, she was back at that rock thinking, oh no, Coyote, he says that he's gonna eat me up. I better do something. So Dove got herself a rock, and she covered it with feathers and put little stones for eyes and had a little wood for her mouth and said, that's perfect. Took feathers and put it all over. It looks just like me, like she was looking in a mirror, and she left it there on that rock, and she flew up to the top of the tree. Now, Coyote climbed out of that hole. Oh no, I dropped that song again. I gotta go back and talk to Dove. And he walked back over and he saw Dove sitting on the rock. He thought it was the real Dove. He didn't know it was the rock Dove. And Coyote said, Dove, I dropped that song again. I need you to teach it to me again. But rocks can't talk. Dove, did you hear what I said? Dove, I dropped that song. I need you to teach it to me again. But rocks can't talk. And Coyote said, Dove, you teach me that song or I'm going to eat you up. But rocks can't talk. And Coyote reached over with his sharp teeth and he bit on that rock, and all his teeth fell out of his head. And Coyote was lying there, boo hoo hoo, boo hoo hoo, boo hoo hoo, boo hoo hoo. And wouldn't you know it, Crow was this big bird, and she flew down and said, Coyote, that's a beautiful song. Can you teach it to me? And Coyote said, I'm not singing, I am crying. And that is how Coyote got his song. The end.